We bought each other 150-mile-an-hour cars.
With a budget of just £1,500.
I bought Will this dreadful 285 horsepower turbocharged Vauxhall Zafira for £1,500.
And I bought Edwin this 155-mile-an-hour Chrysler Crossfire for £1,300.
And today we've got £250 each to modify them and get them ready to attempt to hit 150 miles an hour in the next episode.
I'll be honest, I'm at a bit of a loss what to do here because there's nothing to do to a Crossfire. The wheels are staggered, so they're stupid fitment. You can't get good aftermarket wheels for them. Engines, you can't do anything to them. You can't remap the standard engine because there's no power. You can't put the supercharger from the SRT6 on it. What am I going to do to the outside of it? Put a grille on it?
So when I first drove the Zafira, I realised it's got a horrible issue where the boost breaks up and it misfires, and I've had an engine light, and it just runs generally like crap. My first port of call is some spark plugs and a coil pack. I think that might fix it, and that might give me some horsepower back. GSI VXR spark plugs, 4 of them, £48. A Bosch coil pack, Bosch. That'll do me £85.
The only thing that I know I want to do as part of this episode is remove weight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the stupid cup holder. That's the first thing to go.
So the other obvious issue with the Zafira is the clicking from the right-hand side, which I think a drive shaft is probably going to fix that. So here we have a drive shaft on eBay for £50.
What I know that I need is 2 front wheel bearings. That's what Josh told me about. £12 from Napa. That's American. What next? We need a centre support bearing. £22.34. We're in like 50 quid so far.
One thing I really don't need is cosmetic items, but what I think this needs, this is key for any Vauxhall owner, is some Ford Focus RS vents. Look at any modified Astra, Zafira, Vectra. If they know what they're doing, they've got Focus vents on there, and that's exactly what I found on here for £15. And he's only down the road, so I'm just going to go and give him money and take them. Because that, cut into the bonnet, get some heat out, get some power going. That's what I need.
You know what I'd rather do? I'd rather give Will the rest of my budget to make the Zafira cooler than spend any more money on this. Actually, that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy 2 rear tyres, which I need, and anything left over, I'm going to give to Will, because I'd rather see his car more modified than any more money be spent on this thing. Could go with the Pilot Sport 5s. Those are good tyres. We could go with them. But what I'm leaning towards is the Super Value 255. They're nice tyres.
We're on the tinnies. In our last episode with these cars, you would have seen that we got that Zafira for a bargain because of a Car Vertical report. And they're sponsoring the channel again this week.
Every day, hundreds of cars, just like our Zafira, get crashed, repaired, and put back on the road without any mention of that old dodgy past. With a Car Vertical check, though, you can find out that history.
All you have to do is enter your reg number or your VIN, and Car Vertical will tell you if that car has been crashed, stolen, or clocked.
No matter how many mods I do to this car, I'm always going to hate it. But at least it does have green ticks for odometer, finance, and damage, so it's not like the Zafira.
This Defender hasn't been so lucky because it's got a yellow warning for damage, and if we scroll down, we can see it has had a pretty horrible front end smash. And also with these Defenders, you can completely change loads of the parts, including the body, so you'd have no idea that it's been in a crash. But with the Car Vertical report, you can get all of that dodgy history.
So anytime that you're buying a car, van, or motorbike, don't get burned like we nearly did on our Zafira. Make sure that you run a Car Vertical check to make sure that the price you pay for it matches the history.
And as an added bonus, Car Vertical have offered you guys a massive 20% off when you use code TDC. My first mods are not really mods for the Zafira, they're kind of maintenance. I've got a coil pack and some spark plugs, because this thing runs like ass.
It really does.
Oh, there we go, that's off.
Why is it covered in...
That's Vauxhall owner fluids.
What is that? Is that paint? Why is it covered in paint? What is that?
Now Edwin was suitably covered in the mystery Vauxhall juice, I remembered something we'd discovered about the Zafira.
This car, we had a look when we got the V5 through, has 14 previous owners. Do you know how many people that is? That's over 10.
That's 14. Oh.
We've got a Bosch spark plug, which I don't think is a bad thing, but we're going with the NGK. It looks okay.
Oh, she's oily, lad.
Perhaps we found a little bit more soot in that one. Also, the oil's on that side, so it's valve cover gasket.
But I have to stress, this is a freshly built engine.
Exactly.
So it's not possible.
Having determined that maybe the coil pack and spark plugs were likely affecting the Zafira's performance, we got the replacement parts fitted.
That's a spark plug.
Meanwhile, I was outside with the Crossfire because, as many of you commented last week, it actually has adjustable front wheel bearings. So Josh and I jacked the car up and tightened them to remove some of the play, and by the time I was done, Will was ready to test the Zafira with its fresh new parts.
These were £80 for the coil pack and £42 for the spark plugs. So that's actually quite cheap for maybe 85 horsepower.
85 horsepower, that's the cheapest 85 horsepower you'll ever have. But at the same time, you're not going to get any more of those horsepower. That's actually smoother than it was.
Ah, we've got to test it. It needs a road test.
Oh well, I'm one of the Zafira children. Which mum am I from?
I don't know. Can't remember. Come on, you big bastard. I tell you what, yes! I've gained horsepower!
That's horsepower. Who would have thought basic maintenance would fix a car?
Zafira's engine running much better, it was time to tackle the very limited list of Crossfire modifications, and Edwin was particularly excited.
It's time to work on the best car ever. I called up 4 remap places and they all said, don't bother. Genuinely, they didn't want the money. Think about that. A company that could have £200-300 for free said, I wouldn't bother. How shit are these things, man? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna weigh it, see if we can pull some weight out of it, and then put some new tyres on the rear, because don't wanna do 150 on bold tyres. I'm gonna do my best William Chandler impression. Rear left, cool. Consider that the front right.
You.
Edwin spoke too soon, as literally seconds later,
He put the labels on the wrong way around.
Ah, just like when I did it then.
Yeah, you know what, Will, it can happen to the best of us,
It
mate.
can,
It's,
it can.
you know what, maybe I treated you too harshly.
Online, the weight says it should be somewhere between 1377 and 1410. I'm assuming this is the lightest Crossfire you can get.
Yeah, because coupe manual.
I'm going to say it starts 14.
I would say the same. Here we go, we're gonna turn them on. That is a 1360. That's light. We are already a Crossfire Superleggera. If I can take 25 kilos out, that'd be good. This car passed an MOT like this. That might have more crack showing than I do when I'm on camera. I went down a drag strip with these, Will.
Yeah, but...
You'd be liable for my death.
Nah, I wouldn't have thought so. Also, sorry, I went down there with 4 wheel bolts in one side and a clicky drive shaft.
You chose to drive that car knowing that. Off we go to the tyre shop.
While the Crossfire had tyres that were less likely to kill me fitted, we got on with fixing the Zafira's old broken drive shaft.
Right, about to wind my nut off. You do my nutting.
There you go.
I'm gonna get my arm in there and give it one.
Go on, give her one for me, son.
Oh, there he is.
Here we go, Will. I'll guide you in, son. Yeah, there you go, we're in.
Slot her in. The gun just rounded up the edges ever so slightly.
Will, the position you're in currently is not the one of someone doing lots of car work.
Car work is bullshit.
Love it. Will, you have to choose what sort of person you are. Do you go through and bend over and around? Are you someone that goes through sideways and wraps around left and right?
Up and around.
Oh, I like it, because that's who I am as well. I'm that man.
All the way through, like him there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little end, and then I'm going to come around, because what goes around?
Does it come around?
It has to come around. There he is.
There we go. This is neat, Will. I'm liking this.
Will then went out to test if the clicking driveshaft noise had been fixed, which went well.
What's going on?
The drive shaft's fixed, but the bumper perhaps not.
That's what that noise was. Okay, but it is fixed though. I'm ready to boosting.
Zafira fixed and ready for mods, Edwin pulled as much weight out of the Crossfire as possible, starting with the most important bit.
That guy right there, #1 weight reduction. If you own a Crossfire, do that mod. Is this necessary? No. You know, this car probably can do 150 miles an hour as standard. I just want to do something to it. If there's less of it in here, I might like it more. Oh, whoa, sorry mate, didn't know you were there. Oh wait, there's something in there. I'm not happy. I hope this is clean.
Oh, I did know about that.
When you're done dogging, there's messes to clean up. We don't need that where we're going. Okay, well I've taken the seat out. I might take some carpet out the boot, but that's about it. This car's making me sad. Oh! That's the whole boot stripped. I'm happy with that. We've probably saved a couple kilos doing that. Unfortunately, this is going to be very anticlimactic. 1319. 40
kilos.
40 kilos. I'm a Superleggera Crossfire. You're done. There's nothing you could do to your car that's going to make it as quick as this.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
And we would see about that because Will had bought bonnet vents that would surely increase his top speed, and it was time to fit them.
This is actually coming back to your roots.
I've had many cars with these on, but I've never actually fitted them. So this is a first. Well, they're actually replicas of, but they're vents from a Focus RS Mark II. If you've got one of those, you're respected.
Exactly.
Not by this guy.
No.
Not by this guy.
You're fighting with that guy.
Yeah, Vauxhall people still like to put them on their cars. I have got a theory on this though.
Okay.
Heat.
That's great. And back to the studio.
I'm going to be there 140 miles an hour.
Turbo's here.
And I'm needing that extra little. Yeah. And then these vents heat out.
Get them out.
And then the car's going.
Sucking it in.
And then it's going to give me more power. Now, realistically, you should measure this, probably. You should go, is it central? Are they going to be level? It's going to happen by eye, Ben. That's about right. Ben, no?
What?
Vent location precisely marked out, we were ready to cut. But before that, we made Will take all of the necessary health and safety precautions.
Kind of scared, if I'm being honest with you.
Just the key is have fun.
Whoa!
Did he bite you?
Just scolded me. Oh, it's too late now. What is a man to do in this situation other than wear gloves?
Listen, it's the age-old question. When a man's cutting into a bonnet, what gloves does he wear? Oh man, catalytic converter thieves are getting out of hand.
Bob the Builder's changed profession. I don't value my penis at all. Actually, my penis feels like it's about to fall out. I can't see a thing. Well, that's what Pompeii was like. That was mental. I was in hyperspace for a moment there.
Yeah, that's clean work, Will.
Ow! Bitch, mother...
Yeah. Well, I mean...
That's a different line. I need that though.
Well, nah. Not really.
I'm not cutting it off.
You're not cutting that off. There you go. This is lethal, Will. What you've created here. That is... I've never seen such a sharp object in my life.
In he goes.
Hello. And the method for holding it down?
Double-sided tape. Look at that. That looks good.
That is looking OEM Zafira.
Vauxhall owners are going to be looking at this and saying, that looks good.
First vent looking fantastic. We prepped the car for the second one.
That's rubbish. That's crazy. That's wild. Look at the hole and look at where I drew.
You know what? I'll give it to you. That is actually fine.
Right, rip the tape off, get her stuck. Oh no. Oh no!
Will, you're fine. Don't panic.
I think it's...
Look at it go, Will. You are a genuine Zafira owner now.
Get the Stellas going, boys. The left one's wonky.
That's fine. It's a modification.
I could barely tell. I'd never know that was wonky.
Hey, still rather be in it than a Crossfire.
The vents were in and looking good, and as I'd given Will my remaining budget, he was able to bring the car down to TRS Performance to see if they could sort out its engine software and hopefully get it consistently running at its current peak power of 200 horsepower. Before that though, the guys wanted to do a smoke test on the engine to check that there weren't any air leaks and that the Zafira wasn't going to explode all over their dyno.
It seems to be airtight.
That's ridiculous.
Shocking.
Surprised.
That's impressive.
You've got an airtight Zafira GSI.
This car's getting healthier and healthier.
It genuinely is.
Smoke test passed with flying colours. We got the Zafira inside, ready to get its map sorted out.
Right, so Ned is in the Zafira now. He's going to get a baseline run and see how bad the current map is. We might get an improvement on what we got at Surrey Rolling Road, so let's see. That was healthy, no breaking up. We don't know what the map is like, but that sounded good.
Are you going to ask them to put some pops and bangs on it?
I should, but we'll see, we'll see.
It was a genuine look of confusion.
Yeah. such a great car. I love it. It's amazing.
Very strange, kind of ties in with what you said happened on the other dyno. First run made 170 wheel horsepower, second run 158. Turn the ignition off, turn it back on again, back up to 170 horsepower, do another run, 158 again.
So this is a literal case of if you tried turning it off and on again,
Yes, pretty much.
and it fixes it.
But you have to do it while you're running.
We then headed upstairs to look over our current dodgy map, and the guys immediately found something quite interesting.
It limits your maximum boost pressure as stock. It's got a nice curve to it all, and it brings down the maximum boost as the RPMs increases. But they've modified it a bit crazy. Luckily, it hasn't really affected it, so they've actually got away with it.
So by sheer luck, we haven't blown
By
this car
sheer
up.
luck.
This is someone backyard tuning.
Yeah.
It's not a professional map.
No.
The guys cleaned up our map, which made it safe again, and also added a little treat for Will.
I've also added some pops and bangs and overrun to it.
Now we're talking. We're in Zafira territory now. I wasn't going to ask, but...
How well does it run? Don't care. Pops and bangs.
And then I've added fuel as well, so you might even get some flames out of it if it's decated.
You're speaking my language. This is excellent.
I know what you want, Will. I know what you want.
We headed back downstairs to test out the new map. But first, Edwin had an important question.
Is this one of the most baffling cars you've had?
I've never seen a car so inconsistent.
I'm going to call it the mystery machine. What's wrong with it? It's a mystery. How much power is it running?
Let's split up and look for clues. It was time to test out the TRS map, and we were pretty happy straight off the bat.
Jesus! That's perfect. That is absolutely spot on. It sounds faster now.
You are now a Zafira.
Thank you very much. Oh, that is amazing!
The pops and bangs were great, but just as the guys were ready to start increasing the boost to make more power, they ran into a pretty big problem. No matter how much boost the guys asked for from the turbo, it wouldn't make any more.
What's going on, Will?
Just waiting for the diagnosis, but it's not good.
It's not looking good, bro.
It's not good. It's not looking. It's not sounding. Well, actually, it's sounding better.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. Sounds
But your
fast.
power, he's not there. It's the same.
The issue was quickly discovered. The solenoid that tells the turbo how much boost to make was broken, so we couldn't increase the turbo's power at all. On top of that, the spring, which physically controls the amount of boost, was so weak that it would open up too early, even if we had been able to demand more power.
The guys worked their magic though, and after much testing and many hours, we were left with a Zafira that was running much better than the one that pulled in earlier that day. And even more importantly, it shot huge flames.
Oh my goodness gracious! I just shit my pants.
The car was done, and despite not really having a power difference, the guys at TRS had managed to get it running consistently at 200 horsepower, so we were thrilled.
Happy with those, Will?
Great success. Very happy.
Your car's got problems, as to kind of be expected, I guess.
Surely not.
First off, the boost control solenoid seems to have some weird stuff going on. Explains why earlier, sometimes if I turn the car off and turn it back on, it would energise that solenoid just a bit so it would work and then not work again. The map that's on it is now safe. We've removed those anomalies and you've got pops and bangs for all your friends in McDonald's car park.
That is what I'm most pleased about. And maybe that one bang will be what sends me to 150, maybe 130, we don't know yet. But a massive thank you to the guys at TRS Performance. We'll put links in the description below. Check them out on Instagram as well. Obviously, old Zafira is not what they usually do. We keep bringing them old chitters, but it's Ford, VAG, BMW, that's what you specialise in, mapping, that kind of stuff.
Please bring us good cars next time.
Yeah, we're just not going to come back.
The only thing left to do was switch cars and see what we were about to each attempt to take to 150 mile an hour in just a day's time.
Right, so what has Will done? Firstly, he fixed the dangerous tyres up front. That was a worthwhile fix because already I can feel there's actually a bit of grip now. He's also tightened up those top mounts that were just loose, so the car is now safe on that front.
And this is the first time I've been out in the Crossfire since I lovingly purchased this for Edwin. And what he's done is he's ruined it. What I bought him is a ready-made 150 mile an hour car that is comfortable, quiet, and what he's turned it into is this clattery, empty, noisy thing.
Let's be completely honest. You saw the reaction on Will's face in that first episode when I pulled up in this. This car is a bit of Will, and he loves it. And to be fair, so do I. I love this awful, awful car.
For f***'s sake.
Listen to this.
So I do feel quite bad. I have bought Edwin a car that he can't really modify, and yes, I know Edwin does like to modify stuff, but again, I've been nice. He hasn't got to do anything. It's done, sorted. I mean, what do you do to a Crossfire other than sell it and buy something else?
We have to go to Germany tomorrow morning. That's it. We're out of budget, we're out of time, no matter what. I believe our crew car driver, for Ben to go with as well, is sick. So we can't use him, which means Ben's gonna have to ride with us, which I think means I'm gonna have to put my seat back in the Crossfire and lose out on some of the weight that we lost. I'm not particularly happy about that. This is faster now. This is faster than the Crossfire. Just from TRS cleaning up that awful map where it was breaking up and knocking under boost, so much faster. Unfortunately, I think I'm in trouble now.
He's got new tyres on the back. I wouldn't have wanted to do 60 mile an hour on the tyres he had before. They were cracked, they were old. They were Bridgestones, but something like that lets go at high speed. You are dead. And if you die in a Crossfire, it's not even sad, it's just disappointing.
I think there's a world in which this car needs to stay around no matter what happens in Germany, and we have to turn this up to 400 or 500 horsepower. That would be a little bit mental.
Mods haven't been
Not particularly successful.
not particularly successful.
But the Zafira's got pops and bangs, so everyone wins.
And it runs a bit better now. I'll be honest, the Crossfire feels worse.
It's worse,
than when
isn't
I bought it.
Yeah, it's worse.
It's noisier. Oh, so you need to put your seat back
I need
in.
to put my seat back in for Ben. Great.
So in the next episode, we're going to Germany to an autobahn to test the top speed of these cars. 150 mile an hour is the target.
One of us will
We
do
will
that.
see. But if you want to see where we bought each other both of these cars, you can check that out here, and we will see you next week.